Hip Hop Astrology tells you the truth about everything you need to know about. If you want to know the truth about something, it's Hip Hop Astrology.
Hey, peace everybody, it's the Urban Guru. I want to get into a very sensitive and very real topic that deals with domestic violence. And this one here is inspired by Michele'le, an old interview that was on the Breakfast Club where she openly admitted, and it's a well-known fact, that her and Dr. Dre had domestic issues, and she received, I believe she said like 5 black eyes. She received like a broken nose, a cracked rib. She was also in a relationship with Suge Knight where she received a dislocated jaw, right? So in my mind, I'm watching this because, you know, I'm a cosmic geek, I'm a star geek, and I said, wow, that is a severe Mars affliction. In my mind, I'm saying this because her experiences is talking about physical violence with masculine energy, okay? Now, this is where this craft becomes very important, and I'm telling you from a father's standpoint of view. When we look at her chart, you see I have points 1 and 2. Point 1 is the planet Mars, and you will notice that there's a red line going to point number 2, which is the sun. Now, this is the thing. The sun and Mars are both, to a degree, they're masculine energy, right? See, in astro.com, what I love about the very basis of this, once you start understanding basic keywords of planetary energy, it's color coded. The red lines represent challenges in your life, things that can make you great. Okay, it's just gonna come with a little bit more resistance. And the blue lines represent opportunities in your life where it's a little bit more easier flow. Okay. And then if you see green lines, that represent a challenge as well. So we see a red line coming from Mars, point number 1, over to point number 2, which is the sun. Now, it's interesting because in the mythology, the theology of the god, remember, these planets were personified as people, as gods. Why? Because it was to give us insight into the psychology of individuals. You understand? This is our own psychological makeup, per se, okay? And show us things we'd be attracted to and things we like to engage in, and so forth and so forth. So the sun, which is Apollo, which is your zodiac sign, which is the strongest imprint in our solar system, because without the sun outside, there's no life, okay? So that's the strongest sign. I keep telling you, every time you say my zodiac sign, you're talking about where the sun was at when you were born, okay? So the sun represents Apollo. It represents a masculine force. He's also the brother of Mars. Mars in Greek mythology is really Aries. That's where the constellation Aries comes from, okay? Mars rules Aries. Mars is really a Roman term. So Mars is the god of warfare, accidents, and violence. But the sun represents a masculine figure too. So the masculine energy, cosmically speaking, she was born when they were at odds with one another, which is called the square. The square represents some type of tension, somebody coming at you sideways. Now, it's interesting at point number 1 because it's Mars in Virgo, which means it could be a masculine figure, Mars, who you work with. Virgo is the sign of work. You understand what I'm saying? It's also, for real, a sign of music, okay? So you can see where she was born that the masculine energy is just not in a favorable position, which says to me, if this was my daughter, right, I would easily say, okay, you're likely to attract situations in relationships with men where it can turn violent. So you would have to be extremely, extremely careful, okay? And this is where the daddy comes in and starts to vet these niggas out. You understand what I'm saying? Because the key to this thing is she carries what I would call the cosmic memory and energy to attract domestic violence. A lot of people don't like that. They can't handle that. And I understand it. Because you can say, well, he's a man and he shouldn't have did that. All I'm saying is, hear me out. If I can see that your masculine energy is off-centered and you're likely to attract violence, and then all of a sudden violence happened to you in a relationship, irregardless to it, quote unquote, being your fault or not, how did I see that and then it happens per se? How the experience manifests itself is not the issue. The issue is it going to manifest itself? All right. So I just want to give y'all that, man. Get at me. Hip Hop Astrology TV. Peace.